Boston's streets hide some of the most brutal gang crimes. Today we count down the 5 craziest. Title card: 5 insane Boston gang crimes you won't believe. We're going deep into stories that shook the city to its core. Cases you've probably never heard about in this much detail. I'm talking about studio execution, murders in a recording studio. The Mattapan Massacre. 4 people dead, a city shaken, shootouts that changed neighborhoods forever. We spent weeks digging through archives, police reports, and news articles. We are going to break down exactly what happened, who was involved, and why these crimes are so unbelievable. Get ready for an intense journey into the dark side of Boston. What began as a simple street robbery ended in what locals now call the Mattapan Massacre, one of the most brutal crimes in Boston's history. September 28, 2010. Middle of the night on Wilson Street in Mattapan. A group of men are hanging out. A drug deal was supposed to happen, but it was a setup for a robbery. The plan: rob the dealer and get out. It escalated. The robbers couldn't leave witnesses. They forced 5 people to strip naked. A power play to humiliate and search for weapons. Then, gunshots echoed. 4 people were executed. Ayanna Flonnery, 21, was found clutching her 2-year-old son. Ni Hotep Amani Smith, just 2, was the youngest victim. Simba Martin, 21, and Leigh Von Washam Garrison, 22. Only Marcus Hurd survived, shot in the back of the head, left paralyzed. The Boston PD launched a massive investigation. Key suspect: Dwayne Moore. Key suspect: Edward Washington. Motive: alleged robbery, with signs of gang rivalry and cold-blooded violence. The trial became a media circus. Prosecution: Moore orchestrated it. Washington, an accomplice. Defense: wrong men, unreliable witness. First trial: hung jury for Moore. Washington acquitted of murder charges. Retrial: Moore found guilty of 4 counts of first-degree murder. Sentenced to life without parole. Wilson Street bears the scars, and the families still carry the pain. On a cold night in 2004, another neighborhood was rocked by an unbelievable act of violence: Floyd Street in Dorchester. 3 people were gunned down in a car in what police believed was a targeted gang hit. This wasn't random, it was a calculated execution. The brazenness of the attack shocked the community. Rapid gunfire shattered the peace. Inside, 3 young men were dead. Investigators quickly pointed to a bitter, violent rivalry simmering for months. This was about territory, respect, and retaliation. In Boston gang wars, a perceived slight can mean a death sentence. Shock was immediate. Fear spread through the block. Families kept kids inside. Safety was gone. The code of silence loomed. Snitches get stitches. Detectives worked relentlessly, chasing leads and piecing together the night. But fear built a brick wall. Eventually, arrests brought some relief. Was it the end? Or just one chapter in a continuing war? Prosecuting gang homicides proved incredibly difficult. The Floyd Street triple homicide became a symbol of senseless violence. A stark reminder: these wars happen on residential streets among innocent families. Imagine you're in a basement recording studio, making music with your friends, living the dream. Then, in an instant, it turns into a bloodbath. December 2005. 4 young men were executed in a Dorchester basement recording studio. A makeshift studio in Dorchester became a crime scene, shell casings and chaos left behind. Armed intruders burst in, to steal guns, not cash or jewelry. This was a targeted hit. They opened fire, execution style. Victims included Jason Batchelor and Jihad Shankar. 2 others were also killed. Calvin Carnes Jr. was convicted and sentenced to life in prison. His accomplice, Robert Turner, pleaded guilty to lesser charges. This next case is heartbreaking. Sunday night around 8:30 p.m., just outside the Franklin Field housing complex at 50 Ames Street, a peaceful park scene turned into a war zone. 5 people were shot, 3 adults and 2 under 18. 1 juvenile suffered life-threatening injuries. It happened on September 17th outside the Franklin Field Projects on Ames Street in Dorchester. This showed an absolute disregard for life. Gunfire erupted out of nowhere. Panic followed. Days later, 25-year-old Micah Ennis was arrested in Roxbury on Wednesday in connection with the shooting. Ennis is charged with 5 counts of armed assault to murder, assault, and battery with a dangerous weapon causing serious bodily injury, 4 counts of assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, and unlawful possession of a firearm. More recently, Johnny Johnson, 24, of Dorchester, was charged in the same case and is being held on $1 million bail. It was pure terror. 2 of the victims were just 14 and 16. Investigators pointed to rival crews battling for control, likely retaliation, a show of force, sprayed bullets into a crowd in rival territory. The recklessness is what terrifies communities. The code of silence and fear of retaliation stalled the case. Calls for new strategies, outreach, and youth programs grew louder. The psychological scars are immeasurable. A tragic reminder. When gangs go to war, there are no innocent bystanders. One of the most brazen gang shootings in Boston's recent history. Caught on police surveillance. The Lenox Street Crew, locked in a long feud with Orchard Park. A summer afternoon in 2015, they were on a mission. Boston police were nearby, running surveillance. They spotted rivals and decided to attack. What happened next was on camera. They opened fire in the middle of the street. Absolute chaos. Targets scrambled. Some even returned fire. Police had undeniable evidence. Shooters on camera. A massive federal takedown followed. Operation Concord. Racketeering, drugs, guns, and the crew's hierarchy laid bare. Key leaders went to federal prison for decades. A turning point for the neighborhood's safety. Their arrogance, committing a crime in front of police, was their undoing. Beyond a single murder, this was dismantling an entire criminal enterprise. And there you have it. 5 of Boston's most shocking gang murders, heartbreaking, brutal, still echoing today. Mattapan Massacre, a mother died protecting her child. Studio execution, music turned to murder. A daylight shootout that took down an entire gang. These aren't just headlines, they're communities torn apart. The fight against this violence happens every day. Bravery in the community, dedication in law enforcement. Remember the victims and the lessons learned. Which case shocked you the most? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe for more deep dives. Sources are linked in the description. Thank you for watching.